Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to Subspace Emissary. Hopefully your favorite. I'm gonna ignore that for the entire run. So while I do this horde fight, I can explain what you'll be seeing throughout the run. I'm gonna be using quite a lot of brawl unique mechanics. We'll be seeing a bunch of stuff like Dacus, Meta Knight's Infinite Dimensional Cape, that sort of stuff. And the crown jewel of this game is gonna be fight skips. So you can skip over locked enemy fight triggers because Sakurai did not account for the entirety of the trigger going all the way up to the blast zone for a lot of fights, and so because of that we are able to just simply skip over a bunch of fights because didn't account for that top bit of a lot of the fights. So you'll see that probably in like 10 or so minutes, and it's just spread throughout the run. Hello, it's PD. I think he's coming back in the new Mario Strikers. Let's just kill him real quick anyway. So right there, I went for the left cage because this is like crucial to the story and also like a couple progression through some stages where I unlocked Zelda instead of Peach. Zelda for Sheik specifically is faster than Peach whenever you get to those stages. So now we have the second level, Skyworld, which is Pit, which will introduce another broken mechanic of Brawl. So everyone knows about the gliding in this game and how like enjoyable it can be if you know how to do it right. So we're gonna absolutely utilize that to break the game even further and just skip a whole bunch of, oh, that was quicker than I expected. Skip over a bunch of fights using primarily the gliding mechanic with both Pit and Meta Knight, but there are also plenty of other fight skips that utilize other characters that you'll be seeing, but majority is usually just Pit and Meta Knight. So in the beginning of the stage and right here, I'm using Pit's up B to go down faster. For some reason, it's quicker than his fast falling mechanic. So then now here, I'm gonna be Pit, and I'm gonna literally glide all the way across this area to skip this fight. And it's a bit slow, but there's one instance of how broken gliding is, especially in Subspace. Just skipped over a fight because there's a fight trigger that doesn't go all the way to the top of the ceiling. So you know how there's Wind Waker barrier skip, and when people were researching that, it went all the way up, so they had to like actually figure out a clip in. It's the opposite. They didn't even bother with this game to put it all the way at the top of the blast zone. It's very interesting. So there's plenty of fights where they did implement it all the way up, but a lot that we're able to skip just because they didn't. So this is like one of the few instances of Zelda / Sheik, the famous B move. Like the best move that Zelda has is down B, so being Sheik. So this is something I'm gonna be doing. It looks a little weird, but I'm gonna be doing a back roll in this long section. It's faster than Sheik just dashing through everything. That's like one of the only times I ever do that. It's like some weird brawl mechanics of just like what amount of speed each like move or like mechanic the characters have. Oh, I didn't want that. So then that was an instance of a locked fight where there's more objectives than just to kill enemies. So these are just portals. Just a few fights that are like this. Nice trip. Yes, trips exist. Nice mushroom. Trips, I think, in normal Brawl are a 1%. I think they might be harder to get in Subspace. I'm not entirely sure, but they do exist, sadly. Alright, so now jungle, and I'm going to be hitting a turquoise cube that spawns an item. It's either a poison mushroom or a big mushroom, and I have to hope I hit it in the right frame roll, because that's the only pool of items is the poison mushroom or big mushroom, and I hit it on a bad frame roll, so I got the poison mushroom, so I have to dodge my way out of it. But if I dodge my way out of it and don't mess up any movement here, it's the same amount of time as if I were to never go for that turquoise cube at all. So it's not really that much of a time loss. Technically isn't. So really quickly, just before I get to it, there's a interesting broken mechanic involving locked fights called a pause glitch. I will see if I get it here. It was way too early. So what a pause glitch is when you enter a locked fight, if I press the pause button on the same frame of entering the locked fight, the camera will unlock, but the blast zones that are caused by that locked fight will remain. But then I'm able to manipulate all the different enemies by moving further away from them and respawning and despawning more enemies throughout the fight to beneficially just end the fight quicker. Hello, Cheep Cheep. So there's a couple attempts of those that I'll be going for, primarily ones that save at least 4 seconds or more. There's more that save less than like 3 seconds, but it's not worth it. So you'll see that a couple attempts. It would look weird because I'll just like pause the game, but that's like all intentional. So right here, just one of the few times I will do a damage boost. Alright. And then kill some Goobas to end off the level. So right there was I was hitting one enemy into another, and instead of them bouncing off walls like they normally would, if you hit one enemy into another and they both just kill off of each other, they'll end the fights quicker, the locked fights. So that's pretty much what I want to go for. I missed the damage boost there. So another instance of broken gliding incoming. It's really just the amount of speed you can get with this stuff. So I am completely ignoring this hallway of jumps by flying my way through it. There's a lot of levels that over time became a lot quicker just solely because of Meta Knight gliding or pit gliding. I'm gonna SD here so that I can be Mario, because Mario is better than Pit at these fights. Alright, and then at the end of this level will be another attempt at a pause glitch. One that's actually quite a hefty time save for me able to get it. I'll take that big mushroom. Most scenarios, big mushroom is pretty good, but there's a couple where it's like I want to really ignore it. It's like a very specific amount of horde fights. I just got like 3 of them in a row. Oh my god. I should have taken that like as late as possible. So I'm probably gonna despawn. Alright. I was a frame early. Okay, sure. I didn't want to do that, but sure. Alright. There we go. That's on mine. If I didn't jump over it, I would have gotten hit. Alright. So I'll Prime Minister for like 2 seconds and then just move on. So now we have the second quote-unquote boss fight. You'll see about 8 in total throughout the run. They're not quote-unquote actual real boss fights or anything special. What was that? It's fine. Alright, so staying with Fox, because I can bring up that if I have one character already loaded, if I go into another character selection screen and load in with that same character, it's faster than loading in another character because Fox is already loaded, right? So saves a bit of time, and also just Fox is the optimal character faster than Diddy. And while I'm doing this level and everyone's jamming to Bramble Blast, I can mention about the weird mechanics, changes to core mechanics of Subspace. So Subspace, they've changed a lot of the mechanics to where, say, the faster characters are slower and the slower characters are faster. They tried to balance everyone as much as possible in this, except for Sonic, because you get him at the end, and that was like a late edition anyway. But it's a little fascinating, because you'll probably see like two completely opposite characters, like Fox and Donkey Kong, kind of have the same speed, if you recall me playing DK in the jungle. So that's a little fascinating thing. I could also mention that I forgot during the Sea of Clouds is when I mentioned Dacus in the first level, which is dash attack, cancel, up smash, be able to glide on the ground with that maneuver with some characters. You can't do it with just any character that you were able to do it in like normal Brawl. So like when I was Sheik is a character that you could do it with in normal Brawl. Because of the core mechanic changes, I'm not able to do it. I've spent so much time researching and figuring it out. You actually could do it with Sheik and other characters, but no, it's in Subspace. I believe it's a Snake and Falco exclusive. I won't use Falco. I'm pretty sure I don't use Falco at all in this run. So you'll see it with Snake in another level. I keep getting big mushrooms. Also, oh my goodness. Also, what you saw me do there during this auto-scroller is I entered a secret door, and in some auto-scrollers, depending on how early I enter it, as long as it's not in the blast zone, it will, if I enter it and exit back out, it will spawn me further into the auto-scroller, and that's only exclusive to a select few. So I SD'd with Fox because we're about to come up on our first false character, / like mini boss or whatever, and we need a spike, and Diddy has an actual spike and Fox doesn't. You can't just, Fox Armada shine, sadly. So these fights can be a pain. Normally, they're not too bad. It's the, nice, and then, tried to get a double there, which would have saved a bit of time. But normally the false / mini boss characters aren't that bad, but there's a couple of real mini boss characters, just like the normal roster, that can be a pain. Could go very well or lose me 30 seconds each. It's not an enjoyable time when that goes south. So yeah. So I could also mention that you've already seen probably 4 different auto-scrollers, if anyone remembers or recalling playing this, about auto-scrollers. It's not as much as you think it is. When doing a speed run at the times that I'm able to get, it's not even an eighth of the run. It's around 12 minutes of total auto-scroller time, and that's playing on easy, obviously. I'm assuming most casual people would prefer to do it on harder difficulties because of the challenge, and so a lot of the different auto-scrollers, not everyone, but a lot of different auto-scrollers actually increase the duration on higher difficulties. So probably no one even noticed if they're playing on intense, or probably even remember really, but on easy it's a slow drag at times, especially here. This is like normally where I would say save your donations for my run, because there's quite a good amount of downtime for them, if there's any, but not so sure. So I guess while I'm here, the auto scroll will end in like 30 seconds or less. So Lucas is a fascinating character in the run. He's got some cool mechanics. He's got the magnet boost, where if I PK fire and then I do a magnet, or PSI magnet, he will go flying horizontally, and that momentum is used throughout the run a little bit. And also with fight skips, instead of just, you know, Meta Knight and Pit like I've shown you so far, gliding over stuff, Lucas has two exclusive to him, because in any percent we're only given a select few characters each level, because that's, you know, how the story's played out. It's like the character selection's based on the story. So Lucas has a couple. They're interesting. Just utilizes up B. Do a little glitch with his PK fire to go flying. It's literally useless, but interesting. So yep, just like I mentioned, loading in the next area as the same character as before saves time, and also just optimal. You will see Squirtle at some point. All hope is not lost, trust me. Alright, so I'm gonna utilize right there, hitting two enemies into each other to prevent them from like bouncing off of walls, which makes the fight a bit longer. Alright, and I'm coming up on my next attempt at a pause glitch. If I get this one's a bit weird. And if I do, I'd have to explain it after. Oh, nice. Alright, so you hear the little sound, and that's what happens. So I have to manipulate the buttons, and the fight is over. So what I did there with that pause glitch is I manipulated the buttons to try and attack me while I'm in the water, and the ones that spawned at the far left died as soon as I like went in the water, so that was too far for them to reach me. So here's a fight skip performed by Lucas, one of two. It's always not fun when these flows. Oh, well, yeah. I got unlucky. Those flow enemies, either 2 to 4 can spawn in Ruin. Okay, that was really quick backup though. I'm using double magnet boost. Oh, I tried. I was able to because I didn't do the fight skip, but I wasn't able to do that because of where the fight trigger begins. So sadly, I wasn't able to even perform it. But I would have jumped on the far left part of the ledge on the platform above, and then double jump, and then use PK Thunder to skip over the fight. You'll be able to see a much easier one to perform soonish. Alright, but I got quite a lot of things about this level. This level has been broken. In 2017, I found there's an auto-scroller after a horde fight in this level. I found a way. It's a very interesting and very unique way of skipping half of it. And I can't skip all of it, sadly. Just some weird, just a weird case of just not completely understanding it yet entirely. I could have done a damage boost there, but I did the wrong momentum. So, hey look, Meta Knight, and we're not choosing Meta Knight. How could you? Meta Knight is top tier and broken. Yeah, that's true. We're only choosing Marth because Meta Knight on easy difficulty. No, I nearly died. He literally, the only enemies he cannot kill are sword primates. And that becomes very annoying. So he can't one-shot sword primates, so I opt for Marth instead. Can you... Yeah, I don't want this beam sword. Oh my goodness. Alright, this is not going well. I'm gonna wait because I have to do a strat here because I want to spawn as Meta Knight. So that's like the only time you ever see Marth. So I want to spawn as Meta Knight in this room. It will take a bit to load, but I'm gonna be doing some weird stuff here. So with fight skips, there's 2 fight skips here. I'm gonna skip the first one. I'm gonna enter the second fight. I'm not gonna skip it. I'm gonna enter the first fight, and that's unlocked my screen. So the first fight is technically still going on and locked, but I've unlocked the camera by entering the first fight off of going into the second fight, and I'm bringing first fight primate with me into the auto-scroller, and now I've unlocked the auto-scroller camera, and now I'm on a timer because it's still ongoing in the background, and I'm going to skip 2 more fights, hopefully. There we go. And yeah, that room is broken. So all of that was figured out by me in like 2017 or something, and just to show off Meta Knight's up air, do like 20 falling down there. So yeah, it's just a weird case of having the first 2 fights just really close to each other, so you can just literally cancel the locked screen, but it doesn't get rid of the fight, so that's why I was able to bring that primate from the first fight over. So that, and it's, the auto-scroller is weird because I had to kill him, I had to kill the primate at a very specific, not specific time, but I had to start at a specific time. Otherwise, I would have just been black holed back into the start of the auto-scroller, and the camera would have been locked, and I would have had to wait completely for the auto-scroller to end in order to actually play the video game again. It's very interesting. I don't know if that was all confusing. Let's just skip another fight, just cause. Alright, and that's a 8-minute casual level done in 4 minutes. Definitely, I'd say one of the most famous levels when broken in this game. Hey look, Yoshi. There's Link. We're never touching Link. So speaking of Link, there's a very unique trend along subspace speedrunning. So you know how in competitive there's, you know, top tiers, mid tiers, low tiers, etc., etc. In subspace, most of the characters that you'll be seeing are like the mid and bottom tiers characters. They just have a lot of better kill moves in subspace, especially for easy difficulty. And so that's why no one in like top tier except for Meta Knight, because it's Meta Knight, obviously. So you'll see a bunch of like low and mid tier characters except for Meta Knight, and that's just kind of how the runs develop. So yeah, Yoshi's got a really good toolkit, one of the better characters for subspace, movement wise and just kill moves. That's not good. I shouldn't have committed to that. So, yep. Nice kill. So there's a little case of RNG. This entire run is technically RNG, but it's very controllable RNG. It's like very manageable. So like nothing will get too out of order. except for like the normal roster mini boss fights that we'll see soon. Those can get out of hand very quickly, but yep, RNG is not that bad in this. Just hope that, you know, items don't get in your way like it did a minute ago. So I'm gonna use my momentum with the dash grab to carry off this shell pod. A little bit of time save. I think I have one more. Yeah. Alright. Goodbye for now, Yoshi. I wonder how many people were screaming about not actually seeing the cutscenes. There's a cutscene percent category where it's literally just this category plus watching all 50 minutes of the cutscenes. Alright. So now we have picked up ZSS. And now we have dropped ZSS. Because now we're going to be Pikachu and introducing another cool brawl mechanic. We're going to be doing quick attack cancels. So I'm able to buffer a jump off of the ground after quick attacks. And that's just the fastest way to move horizontally with Pikachu. And you'll see that quite a lot. There is a very annoyingly hard fight skip that goes under this entire stage, and I will probably never do it in runs. It's terrible. Just thought I'd mention. Oh, sometimes I can get an accidental skull bash. Happens. So I have to take a key here to unlock this gate. And instead of taking another key to hit this button to unlock an auto-scroller, I'm just gonna thunder my way through. I hit a button that unlocks that auto-scroller because, you know, Sakurai didn't account for collision through walls and whatnot. Oof. I was too close to the wall there, so I wasn't able to get up. Pikachu's one of the more fun characters of Subspace for the run. Quick attack cancels and a few other levels, if done really well, makes it pretty entertaining. Little neat trick, just there's a little ledge that we can clip and just do a little Pika walk, the infamous Pika walk. I'm doing completely incorrect movement. Oh my God. So, I was trying to get a good damage boost off of that. Just to make life easier, just getting across this. Alright. So we're coming up on the end of what I like to call early game. It's the first 10 levels of the game mode. Then you have the next 10 and the last 10, but then after that there's a 31st level, which everyone knows what that is. The infamous Great Maze. It's really awful maze, casually. But, you know, going through it very speedily, oh my God. Nice shell. Can be completed in under 30 minutes. So yeah. The slope pushed that Metal Primate down. Ah. Alright. There you go. Done with quote-unquote early game, and now we're on to what I was talking about before with like the mini-boss, normal roster characters. This, outside of Battlefield Fortress, is one of the most annoying parts of the beginning of the run. So I have to manipulate here Zelda to come closer to me so that I can demolish her into the blast zone. There we go. And then and that could go terribly. So now we have a double battle. because Link and Yoshi saw us kill Zelda and they're like, what? Why would you do that? And now they're here to kill us, because, you know, that makes a lot of sense. So there's a couple of loads that are pretty long. That's just because of the amount of characters that are being loaded. Get that fire flower off of him, please. So yeah, this fight is one of the most terrible in the game, solely because it's a double fight. So utilize back air if I can, because it's got a really good damage hitbox. Mario, please don't screw me. I'm surprised that back throw even killed. Alright, so Mario was kind of a nuisance, so kind of prevented me from killing them a little bit earlier. So now I'm going to enter a small auto-scroller, and I'm going to die with Pit so that I can be Yoshi, because Yoshi does this fight a lot better, but nope. There's another attempt at a pause glitch. And that pause glitch, if I were to get it, the strat to ending the fight quicker is literally just flying off to the left and dying. That's all it is. But since I didn't get it, I have to actually do the fight, and if I get bad RNG, these bomb beds just throw their heads at me. Alright. So done with the worst part of the stage. This one's actually so bad that back then, a couple years ago, a few of the top runners had sub-splits for this. Literally the fights at the start and then the rest of the level. And I think that's the only one outside of Great Maze that they ever use sub-splits for. It's really that bad of a level if it goes wrong. So now, well, that was horrible. So is another minute plus auto-scroller. Just it's not faster to back out and reselect the difficulty to make a lot of these auto-scrollers faster. There's one that used to, because of there wasn't as good as strats developed back then, but there was one level later on the run that you could technically save time, but since then I think I've proven it obsolete. So sadly can't speed up these auto-scrollers other than like what happened in the lake. If there's a secret door in an auto-scroller and I can enter it as early as possible, and hopefully it would spawn us further into it. Nope, I have to go through this. But like I've said, this is literally less than an eighth of the run total. It's still lengthy, a lot of time, yes, but it's really not that big of a deal. So those gold cubes are a part of 100%. I feel like I'll mention that, so that's why the trophies and whatnot come out of them. 100% in this game is literally any percent the sequel. It's literally any percent strats plus just getting those gold cubes and entering some doors. Now the second part of this level, try to come up here as quick as possible to spawn in this global, it's not global, but spawn in these lava rocks. Alright, hello mites. Those can be annoying. I could literally get hit into one of the bottom doors with the key and then have to go through flames to get another key. It's really bad. Oh. Alright. Yes, that was an intentional damage boost on the spot. No shell, not good. So these Shados enemies are very interesting because if they're not facing me, they won't open up their blades and their hitbox won't be exposed. But also if they're like really far away from me, they'll despawn. You'll see that as the actual strat later in the run. Alright, so we messed up the first Lucas skip. Well, I mean, the flows kind of like got in my way. Sadly, I got like all of them showing up at once. So now we try the second one. Oh, didn't get an air dodge. So this one's a lot easier. Just don't have to be precise or anything here. So there's the second and final fight skip with Lucas. The rest are not with Pit and Meta Knight. There's a couple that are definitely unique, especially with the version I'm playing on. I forgot to do another magnet boost there. Which, speaking of, I haven't mentioned actually. How dare I? To all the European viewers watching. This is playing. I'm playing this on PAL, and that's because there is a auto-scroller skip that is PAL exclusive, and that is the majority of the time save. There's also like a little bit of other time save. That's probably who cares? But most of it comes from an auto-scroller skip in a level that will show up 10-ish minutes, 15. So just more hitting in the hitting enemies into other enemies. Couldn't get a dash attack in time there. But yep, this is being played on PAL, so the fastest version is on PAL. Get over to the fight before it despawns. Nice. But yeah, I'll mention... Oh, that's weird. I took way too long. But once I get to that level, I'll mention PAL. I don't think I would have died if I didn't do that PK on there, but I guess we're safe than sorry. So, other than the Bowser and Zelda and whatever else fight, here comes an annoying AI. So we have a Wario fight, not like a false character, just a normal like Brawl roster character. These fights can suck, or they can just go amazingly well for no reason. So here I want to back throw him into the blast zone, but I have to lure him. Nice, alright. That was good. I have to lure him in, and if there's an item that spawns, especially in the middle, they'll gravitate towards the items. They really like items in this game. Alright, back to Yoshi. So if I do this horde fight right, okay, well I already messed up the first nair. Would have been a pretty interesting, it's one of the more interesting looking ones. Because it's like a few damage boosts and whatnot. Nice trip. If anyone wants to get a trip counter going, I think that's number 2. I'm pretty sure in Subspace they are, they are rarer than the 1% they normally are. I could be totally wrong, but normally in a run, I get like 3 or maybe 4. Alright, this level was like really just straightforward movement with Yoshi and fighting. Yoshi's just kind of like an all-around really good Subspace character. So, whenever we see him, we'll use him unless I have to use Pit for like a fight skip or something like that. Because the story is based on, or the groups are based on the story, so we'll have the same characters for like the majority of the time, the same groups. So here, I want to try to get an item that I can throw, like this bat, so that I can throw it at a glider that spawns down there. Otherwise, I would have to waste 2 seconds waiting for it. So here is actually one of the only pause glitches that I do in real runs that... Okay, that was not well timed. That actually saved less than 3 seconds. Because all I would have had to done is just kill that right giant Goomba. The left one would just despawn. Alright, so I made a pretty terrible Ferris wheel cycle. Can't just go from that Ferris wheel to this area. Alright, get past that Goomba. Alright, so now we actually get to play Squirtle for like 1 minute. And the reason why I'm playing Squirtle here is that there's a global cycle, or global timer, that has block cycles, whatever you want to call them, and I can only squeeze through. I can save a few seconds by squeezing through with Squirtle. So, alright, well, I'm not getting it because I poorly timed that side V, sadly. So, I would have barely squeezed through here, and I would have been able to save maybe 5 seconds. I think it's 5 seconds. It's the only use Squirtle has. And then he also has like one other use, I think, and that's like literally to die. I don't think I had to do that second back air. Alright, and welcome to another auto-scroller. Alright, but this one's very interesting because of the strat that I'm going to be doing at the end of it. And it's also another one where there's a secret door that we can enter. And instead of getting further into the auto-scroller, it actually cancels the rest of the auto-scroller. It's not a gigantic time save, but it's something weird that they added with this secret door. But I'm actually, like I said, I'm not going to be Squirtle for long, so say goodbye to Squirtle while he was here. So I'm going to be Lucas again, because there's fights and whatnot after this, but I'm going to be doing something interesting. So I'm going to be taking damage, a lot of damage, because I'm going to be doing a pretty hefty damage boost at the end of this. I can't remember the limit, but I think I want to be at least with under 175%. And the funny thing is that it literally, as long as I don't die with Lucas, obviously, it carries through to the next room. And I'm only doing this because the next room, the locked fights in that room are really consistent, but there could be a mine that spawns in on the third fight that could just ruin everything, sadly. So yeah, doing a hefty damage boost here. Alright. I think I DI'd down right by accident, and so when you're in trajectory and you get hit into the ground, I'm gonna die because I want to be Lucas. And you get hit into the ground, the camera just kind of, it's stationary. It doesn't follow you. It doesn't like zip back to you like it would if I didn't DI downright. So yeah, that was my own fault for holding a bad direction. But yeah, these fights are pretty, oh, goodbye soccer ball. These fights are pretty standard. Can't really get screwed outside of the third fight, but it doesn't really matter since I have 0 health and a star. Just a bunch of up smashes. A lot of actual, like, normal characters can't kill those in one hit. Lucas can, just because of how powerful his up smash is. And, like, it's a huge hitbox, so we can kill literally every wave of enemy. Alright, just hitting buttons to open up doors. Had the shield there, I would have been hit. Alright, and now we have another really annoying fight that could go really well or really bad, and that all depends on my timing of hitting the strong part of Lucas's back air, like that. and it didn't even kill. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to hit Lucas's strong bit of back air. All right, I'll take that RNG, I guess. I wanted to hit the strong hit of Lucas's back air because that's a spike, and that is able to just drop him further down, and then I can just, you know, edge hog. But he was in such a good position so that he can up me. But luck saves the day anyway. All right, so hey, we're finally Meta Knight again. So this level has something very, very interesting in it. But first, let's, you know, be in a auto-scroller, because why not? But there's a very interesting collision, like a misread collision detection. I'm going to be, because there's a fight on the top of a cliff after this auto-scroller and some mines. Also, hello, cliff. Collision detection is very wonky. Oh, I think I edge canceled with that up B. But like that hothead showed, collision detection on cliffs, very weird in this. So I'm gonna utilize that, and you'll see. I'll spend the whole like 2 minutes even if I don't. Oh, first try. All right. So yeah, I clipped through a mountain. So normally you're supposed to go all the way up, and then there's a arm mink enemy that you fight. Funny thing is, we also could skip that too, but when that mountain clip was discovered, that just saved 10 seconds from skipping the top of the fight at the top of the cliff. So we just literally clipped through a mountain, and all I have to say is Meta Knight. Yeah, it's really funny how literally, like, not everyone is broken. I guess you could say, like, the gliding and the characters that can skip fights are broken, but I mean, Meta Knight is just a whole nother level of broken, even in Subspace. Wanted to try to kill that big primate in the middle of the air and get enough height to do this. Skip all these cannons, slow. Also, what you were seeing me do with up airs, I should mention with Meta Knight, is every time you do one of his 6 jumps, I believe, he has that bit of like quote-unquote end lag. Probably not the right term for the jumps, but by doing an up air, like at least a frame before a jump, or a frame after a jump, I mean. That was a really good gallium. If I do an up air a frame after a jump, he'll gain more height, and I'll be able to instantly go into another jump right away. So it literally just saves frames each. Why did I just pick Lucas? I have no clue. I want to be Charizard, because everyone knows Charizard is broken against bosses. But, you know, if you were upset about me accidentally killing Lucas in Ruins, here he is. I was supposed to, and Charizard's a default character too. You'll see him again in other boss fights, but Charizard, if everyone knows, even when the game literally came out, people found that Charizard's Rock Smash is broken against bosses, just decimate them. So I wanted to do that, but oops. Alright, so here's the infamous reason of why we use POW at top level. So there's a fight here that starts in auto-scroller. I'm just going to skip that, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to die. I'm going to die because there's a Death Warp trigger that puts us past where the end auto-scroller fight would be. So I just skipped an entire minute 20 auto-scroller just because I'm playing on a different region. So if anyone gets into this game and you're European, you already have a decent sized advantage. There's also, like I said, a lot of minuscule reasons of why PAL is also slightly faster. Oh gosh. But that's the biggest one there. So I also just skipped another fight with Pit's Glide because he's broken. Just another case of one of those levels that just gets absolutely broken and decimated because of gliding. Alright. This run feels like it's been going by really fast. Ouch. Alright, goodbye PAL level. Now Swamp. Back to Fox. So, a lot of horizontal movement here. But there's one fight, if anyone remembers from their childhood. I haven't seen that in a while. If anyone remembers from their childhood, the terrors of the gigantic Diddy Kong fight and how terrible that can be. So that's a funny story about that. We'll get there in like 2 minutes. And then I'll show the funny moment. So just a lot of Fox illusion through this level. Fox is just really good. Trying to roll there, but my left trigger button is kind of finicky. So sometimes I don't get the input. And that's my fault, playing with like third-party buttons probably. So hey, another auto-scroller, that's cool. But there's another secret door in here, so I'll be able to quicken the auto-scroller by entering it as early as we possibly can. There we go. Saves a few seconds. Alright. So now, I'm gonna hit this to unlock the next portion. And I'm actually going to die as Fox because, like I've said before, we want to load in. Normally, we want to load in the next area with the character we played as before. But this is also a really good time to do this with Diddy Kong, especially because we're fighting Giant Diddy and he's already loaded in. So about Diddy Kong, if anyone wants to see their childhood get ruined, there you go. Just back throw. That's literally it. Alright. And also, I could mention also with the nice shorten. There's no input display or controller cam, so you're not able to see my inputs when I do character selections. But there's some interesting directions that I'm able to press to get to a certain character faster, rather than just tapping the normal left, right, to go from one character to the next. So there's sometimes I do diagonal input or up input, like from getting to Fox here. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm supposed to get on the spring. Let's get to Fox. When I was selecting Fox for this portion of the level, I just tapped up rather than tapping right twice. It just saves a little bit of time. So do that throughout the run, wherever it's useful. Butchered the beginning of this portion of the stage. It's actually really interesting movement with Fox when done right. More auto-scroller. We'll be done with this part in a little bit. So I'm just setting myself up in a certain position to do this fight quickly. And nope. Sadly, I did not. Alright, they're just gonna fly away, I guess. So these paratroopers are very unique because in order to actually truly kill them, you have to one-hit KO them. There's some cases where you don't have to. I don't fully understand why, but Mostly do, but I just messed up my fight strat is all. Ow. Alright. Now I'm just gonna enter... that might be... Oh, wow. I thought I was too far right. I was gonna easily die there. I'm surprised I didn't. Just enter the exit door off screen, because it's not entirely in the blast zone. It's now Facility 2. Already at Facility 2. This has gone by really fast for some reason. So, actually, Pikachu is slightly faster here, but all the different angles of quick attacks cancels you have to do is kind of a little bit absurd in a full game run. So, stick with Zero Suit, Old Faithful. Just my own little setup to get that timing for when that unlocks. And Zero Suit's also useful because we can skip ladders with down air. So yeah, even Pikachu is still faster than that for some reason. So now we're going to be playing Pikachu again because these false Samus fights suck. And the only good way to kill him with the characters we have at our disposal is Thunder. Just getting Thunders off. So down smash is a really good pop-up move. And then just thunder them to the top. Alright, and now Samus is slow, but we are doing a death warp after this room in order to skip also a fight, death warp and a fight skip, all in one. So that is why Samus is being chosen here. Try to do a damage boost, nice. I'm surprised that even grabbed. That was way too far away, but okay, game. Right? Just another one of those characters that's only useful for literally one thing, and that's about it. Everyone say goodbye to Samus. Goodbye. Dead forever. Now back to Pikachu. I'm gonna... That was a death warp, and I skipped the fight that's all the way at the top there, and there was a button to unlock these platforms. So, I just thundered, and yeah, so if I do this all right, this is some pretty cool Pikachu movement. Do a little room skip. Alright. That was badly timed, but can skip a room or two if I can, you know, do this right. Oh, I forgot about that that Glice. Surprised I'm not getting this. Okay. Promise this is a thing. There you go. That was weird. So I just skipped like a room in a fight just by getting to that portal. I'm butchering every single bit of movement. It looks really good when done right. Alright, and now we fight against the characters they put into Smash as an actual playable character. He's definitely too big in this game, but I'm toning him down a bit. But sadly, with Samus and Pikachu, they both kind of like don't have any real good moves. I want that big mushroom. That looked big on my screen. That's just bad eyesight. I can't even up smash anymore. Yeah. With the case of the characters that we have, it's best to just up smash with Pikachu. Alright. Not the greatest, but it's whatever. So now we're done with that. Now we get to play the cool character, who's also bottom 5 in this game, but in Subspace he's like maybe top 5. Just a weird quirk in Subspace and how the run's been optimized, where the tier list is literally flipped from competitive to subspace. Pause glitch time. Was a frame early, or two. It's a weird one, if I did get it. Land on this enemy's head so that I don't remain in free fall. Now, a really annoying horde fight. I really dislike some of the late game horde fights. They can go very badly. Very rarely do they ever go good. That mushroom was, I'd say, pretty decent. So, right here is a case of me dying to despawn enemies. It's not that for every single enemy. I think it may have just be the Shados only. I think that's a bad mushroom. Do I take? No, that's definitely bad. I can tell. Oh, nice Franklin badge. No, I can't use that soccer ball because we have metal primates now. Alright, now we have metal monkey. Shit. DK's down B is broken in some horde fights. Alright, so now we have a really cool level. It's ice climbers who absolutely suck in subspace. So I'm going to be Meta Knight. Instead, I'm going to be doing a really interesting vertical movement, utilizing a lot of shuttle loop. And if I'm quick enough, I could try to make a fast cannon cycle. Alright, well, I accidentally did too many... Oops. I accidentally did too many jumps there. I don't want that just... So, not gonna be able to make it. I'm just gonna take the cannons up, why not? Alright, that sucks. Wasn't able to do the really, like, the movement that really showcases Meta Knight for subspace. And yeah, now we're in a 2-minute auto-scroller because I have no clue what they were thinking. That is why. So I think I can actually, if I didn't move, if I just buffered an up B and laid it on the platform, I think I could have just been like idle for like a minute straight without dying, something like that. But instead, why not just listen to Meta Knight sounds? It's like Meta Knight ASMR. For all the late nighters. Sadly, there's no secret character room or broken method to skip half of this. Just have to go through it. I think it's the longest auto-scroller in the game. Just have no choice. In the grand scheme of it all, it's really still, like I said, like less than an eighth of the run. It's really not a whole lot. Heart. Spike ball. Alright, not too sure on the pace, but I definitely know that quite a few levels did not really go the way I wanted. But maybe this could still marathon record, which is a mid 157, maybe? Something like that. So I just entered the exit door off camera. And now I'm a little bit of more vertical movement, but we don't really shuttle loop. Just ladder climbing. Kill these Shados. There's another strat that I've utilized in individual levels. That's the third trip, I think, or fourth. I think it's the third. But there's a faster strat that is super inconsistent. Wait, what happened? Normally I down smash that right glice and it just goes over and kills the right one. I don't know if I wanted this. This might be one of the cases where I did not want a big mushroom. I can't tell, honestly. Alright, so now we have it could go amazing or terrible. Another, like, normal roster character fight. Alright, good. If he stays put, then... Well, okay, game. I can't win, I guess. Well, I could have just down smashed him off, but I guess not. Now I have to try to lure him, but there's an item. So he's gonna go to that. I'm gonna bring out the Great Mace Strats early. Alright, well, that's a case of, you know, it was gonna go well, and RNG, 1%, probably. Not the end of the world. That wasn't that bad of a backup. So here's another level. It's just all horde fight. Can you please come down, Private? Thank you. This level used to be done with Yoshi until Kirby was messed with and found to be literally 15 seconds faster because he has consistent strats on the third wave of enemies. So hopefully I don't mess them up. I don't like that box. Alright, it's gone anyway. That curry's not good. That's actually, if I can, I'll just let the curry kill. Oh wait, no, it's a fire primate, so I can't. And now I have screw attack. That's not really good, because I have to back air these in a timely fashion. Like, okay, the screw attack just completely messed me. Like, just RNG. Try to get that. Nice. Big mushrooms like normally spawn on these big primates. Little momentum. Alright. Now, here is a very interesting stage. It starts off with one of the only times you'll see Dacus being performed, because only Snake and Falco can really do it in Subspace, since the core mechanics of the characters are changed. There is a skip in the room right after this that, if I perform it, saves 20 seconds, and if I die in the worst possible spot, I can lose up to 40. So let's skip an entire room. Alright. That's the worst death I could have taken. It was just that C4, and then that was pretty much it. I was just not holding towards the... I was not drifting towards the C4 enough. All I had to do was, like, tap left once, and that's the difference between 20 seconds and of time saved and 40 seconds of time lost. That would have been the second time I've done that in the marathon. Whatever. So now we had to kill all the portals, hit all the buttons to unlock this room. Oh, could barely get to that. That's a good mushroom. It's already like the end of the fight, basically. Alright, just more Meta Knight movement, and now the first case of infinite dimensional cape, which I got hit off of, but just to like go through those enemies. Hit this enemy through the wall, because big Meta Knight sword can do that. Alright. And one more. Just have to kill these 5 specific enemies to unlock this door. Alright, and now we fight against the princesses. And it normally goes really bad. Try the SDI out of that. They normally have really good DI. How did that? You didn't die? And oh my goodness. Okay. Alright, well, probably lost a minute and a half to that level, more than I wanted to. Happens. The snake skip that I try to do, I don't think is really that hard, but the timing of like drifting back into your own C4 can be a bit challenging. Now we're on the outside of this gigantic Meta Knight battleship. And using Sheik's chain to grab onto the ledges because it just gets to them faster. Gonna utilize another just back roll with Sheik. I forgot the movement completely there. Oh, I'm at the back air of the button. I have to up B because there's no ledge to grab. Alright, that 4th enemy on the bottom was the one cut enemy, the Mizzo. It's gonna be in like the water levels and whatnot. They cut it and not sure why. Fun fact. This baseball bat's in my way because I'm supposed to kill these in a specific way. Okay, trip again. I think that's 5. I'm pretty sure I normally get like 4. And we're not even done with... We're like not even halfway through the late game levels. Alright. I'm just gonna tank some of these. If I go over 100, just like in Melee, if I try to roll off of ledge, because with Sheik, doing the chain and then rolling off a ledge is the best option. If I was at over 100%, it'd be a really slow roll. I think it's still faster to do it, even if I was at 100, but always try to avoid getting to that percent. Alright. So now we're on to just a straight up boss fight. Snake, because it does maybe a bit more damage than other characters. Sheik used to be the optimal character for this. Just a bunch of F-tilts. And hopefully get good RNG. The best RNG would be to get a firecracker to spawn, because that just does absolutely demolishes bosses. But for some reason, that's very rare to get in the middle of a run. It's always an easier possibility in Isles. Alright. So now we have a really quick level. And this one starts off with an interesting clip. I'm going to be using the top of this elevator to clip out of bounds for like 2 seconds. Just so that I can get to this exiting door faster. I think that's like 4 seconds a time save. Something like that. Just like missing collision when I like bonk into a wall. Ah. And now we have one of the more annoying levels of this entire run. Absolutely everyone who's ran this game hates this. Bomb Factory 2 is awful because the first half is not terrible, but the horde fight can be bad. There's another auto-scroller skip that, you know, if you miss, that's just a minute down the drain. And then there's the boss fight at the end, which is not fun either. If you get bad RNG. You have to do a back air there. That one shot for some reason. Optimal jab. Alright. But yeah, Falcon's more optimal than Diddy or Donkey Kong. Just because of the, I guess, like, since DK has stronger moves, I guess it's Falcon with the speed, really. And then there's Olimar just sitting there. Olimar may be top 3 in competitive, but he's probably one of the most useless Subspace characters. I do remember when RDA at Smash the Record in 2017 accidentally picked Olimar in one of the later levels, and that run ended up being a record, I think. Other than that, you will never see Olimar. Alright, just doing wall jumps to bypass the ladder. Alright, I'll take that damage boost to my advantage and just go into the flames. Alright, and then manipulate, hopefully, enemies that spawn in this fight to come to the middle. Only one. And then... Alright, kill that enemy by wall jumping. If I timed it right, it's very precise. I could have landed on that platform and ignored having to wall jump again. Alright, so here's the horde fight that I was talking about. Just dependent on RNG, it could go really badly. But I want to be Falcon pretty much the whole time and hope I don't get destroyed. That shell's not that bad. Didn't see that bomb. Oh, that's all of them, okay. Why am I... I don't know why I'm jabbing. Oh. And more of these Nagagog enemies. They're always fun, especially when I get a bomb. Alright, I'm gonna go over here and kill this first because I'm gonna try to quick kill this. I'm gonna push this to the side. It may look like I'm losing time, but it's gonna be help, and I messed up my setup anyway. I was supposed to do what I'm doing with this arm ink, double back air, F tilt. And if there's items on the ground, it kind of just ruins it. So then I just pick them up. Alright, so now here's an auto-scroller skip with Rob. Might have been too early. Nope. Such a large window for some reason. So now, just like fight triggers, this is just the plain wall that they didn't put to the blast zone. So I'm just literally able to just die out of bounds and spawn underneath where the auto-scroller would end. Some weird decisions made on the PAL version, and that's not entirely PAL exclusive. That, like, SD version is. There's another version of it on NTSC where you don't, if you SD, you spawn in the auto-scroller, so you have to fall all the way down. It's like a 7-second time loss to PAL. It's really nothing. So now I'm DK, because DK is slightly better for the boss fight we're coming up on. And wait to drop down. Alright, and then another case of spawning in with a character already preloaded. Meta Ridley can be annoying. If I get good RNG and do everything right, this fight could be done in 142-ish. There we go. Just for everyone. Should probably do the meme taunts more often. Alright. Just the last couple of levels. And then we have the infamous Great Maze. Awful Labyrinth, as my split name calls it. It's not actually that bad, especially in a speedrunning setting. The RNG can get terrible in that level, but yeah. It was the first thing of anything out of Subspace that I tried myself. Everyone else just like played through Subspace and, you know, ran it. I literally like, ooh, Great Maze for some reason. It's worked out well in the end anyway. So yeah, Meta Knight here. Oh my, okay. Almost wasn't Meta Knight there. Actually could have died. I'm gonna be skipping 3 fights simultaneously. Longest glide, not the longest, the Skyworld glide might be longer. But in terms of skipping fights, this skips multiple. So just getting my speed up. And then we go. And oh my goodness, that was terrible. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run back. That might be the, okay. So the fight triggers here are really close to one another, so I could have, so that's why I was able to just, that was why I was just literally able to go back and despawn it. There's another one, I think. I can't remember. I haven't actually missed that in God knows how long. So they were just close together. So just like the situation in Battlefield Fortress, I could have just ran back and canceled them out. Can't remember which fight was which because I just have not missed that in such a long time. Alright. The only time we play Nest because the other character choices we have for this level are horrible. Alright, gonna do a neat little upbeat time save. It's precise, hopefully. Alright, that was poorly timed. Alright, and so now we're in the subspace levels, and this is where we're gonna start saving characters for the Great Maze. So we're only gonna be utilizing a few characters, primarily just just Meta Knight and Charizard, and anyone else that we collect is solely just for better menuing. So I'm literally just collecting Charizard and whoever else in this level. And then Meta Knight, I think literally just only Meta Knight in the next level. And we'll be using Meta Knight nearly for the entire Great Maze because he has broken strats and it's Meta Knight, obviously. Alright, and just like Mid-Air Stadium at the beginning of the run, except we're the villains now. And same strat. Goodbye. Alright, and then the second to last level of the game, where we literally just save Meta Knight, and that's it. It's a really cool pause glitch if I'm able to get it. I've rarely gotten it in runs. It's a really hard one. I think it saves the most time out of any optimal pause glitch in the game. But yeah, Meta Knight's right here. Save my boy. And then complete the rest of the level, really. Alright. Just killing these enemies quickly. And then our last auto-scroller of the game. Done with the auto-scrollers, almost. Nice collision. Could show off some more weird brawl stuff, like just teleporting under ledges. What were our trips at? Like 5 or 6? Could I get another one in? It's like every time you start running, I need to set up this pause glitch though. 2 frames early, I think. That one's a really hard one. I could go for another one at the last fight, but it's an even more like awkwardly set up one. It's a lot more doable than the one I attempted anyway, but I won't go for it. It's such a really awkward one to go for anyway. Alright. Coming up on the Great Maze. How fun. You'll be seeing pretty much one strat used throughout the entirety of the level. It's just the most optimal, quickest, just makes a lot of sense. You know, Meta Knight. Hello Wario, goodbye Wario. Alright, so now that's all that done. Now we just have a 30-minute level left. Starting off with Meta Knight. And really only using Meta Knight. Charizard will be only used for 2 bosses, and that's it. I want to stay as Meta Knight pretty much the entire time and try not to die. I feel like it'd be really funny instead of being safe at like the points of the run of this maze that I can actually heal if I get too high of a percent. I think I'm probably gonna try to go for a healless maze because it'd be pretty funny to see me at like 170 and like just barely dodge a kill attack by like Bowser or DDD. I'll try. So right there is the primary strat for killing these characters, is the infamous dash attack up B. On easy, it just annihilates them. There's different stage layouts for every single character, so the dash attack up B won't always work. It's just the base really. So could add a little bit of a up air in there. You'll see me go for a couple of fairs. The fair strat is a difficult one because there's some characters where I do the dash attack up B in the middle of the stage against them and they just don't die. But if I'm able to send them further away into the blast zone and then up B, they'll die, and that's what fair does. That's what his forward air does. The thing that is bad about that is that it could backfire because it puts them further away from me, so they could just unpredictably, you know, double jump out of nowhere. Could just drop very low to the edge, so it could really just be a detriment to me. But it's just a good way of killing some of these characters faster, rather than just sending them off and then hopefully getting another up B. So I'll go for a couple of fairs. Alright, so every single maze sub-split, like from character to character, is just about under a minute. I think there's only like 3 or 4 that are like over a minute, so everything's just like fast-paced. Alright, normally Yoshi kills himself for me by double jumping into my up B, but I guess did that for me, which actually saved time. Thank you, Yoshi. Alright, so then a couple of strats like this where roll to a ledge, and then that just like perfectly sets up for a kill. So just dependent on the stage layout, how they're optimized. But the overall strat is mostly the same. And then some different characters have way wackier AI. Could say, for example, like Falcon here, you'll see Zelda could be terrible, Mario is like infamously terrible. I wanted a dash attack, but that works. It's just, I'm not too sure how they're like coded really, because you'd expect them to be like kind of consistent. Also, here's another IDC. There'll be one used at the end of the maze as well. Very good, Omar. Alright, so here's one of 2 things that I'm about to do. I'm about to quit out of the game, and that's the run. I'm joking. I need to quit out to prevent backtracking. So that's why I entered the door. That's why I entered the door earlier, so that I can prevent backtracking, and that's the first time out of 2 that I will do that. And this also helps because it sets up our first of 2 Charizard spawns, which we have for Duon, and then probably everyone could guess Taboo at the very end. Just a bit faster than Meta Knight. So here's the brokenness of Charizard that I wasn't able to show on Ruined Hall because I picked Lucas for some reason. He annihilates bosses with Rock Smash. Also here's Squirtle for like 3 seconds. And like I said, he's literally used once and just dies. Faster to SD there with Squirtle side beat than Charizard. So you want to spawn his Meta Knight after Duon. Alright. Oh, that was almost really good RNG. Snake is like normally awkward if he'd stop jabbing there. I'm gonna go for this. Alright. I may do some of those risky up Bs where if I go for them and I don't get the kill, I literally die. Some aren't that bad to go for. Like that snake, I could definitely understand when he was gonna cipher. So, but there's some that are unpredictable. And if I even attempt to do them on the more unpredictable AI, that's a big mistake, and I shouldn't. But I might. I don't know. The heelless, risky maze sounds really fun in a marathon. Like this. Alright, that wasn't really risky. If he was like further down or whatever, that would have been funny. Alright. Quite a couple of these characters are in dead ends. but not as bad as like the one with Olimar. So we just have to backtrack a tiny bit. Do a little glide. Now we fight against the broken character himself. Meta Knight is no more. I have killed Meta Knight. Meta Knight's dead. On to the next character. Big glide. So I am not able to maintain speed if I just kept being horizontal, because over time I decrease in altitude, so have to make it up for that for an extra dip. So here's a interesting. All right, I almost got it. Thank you for setting that up, Ness. I guess there was one of those risky fair strats. He like really high up B or double jump there. I'm not supposed to glide here, but sure. All right. So hopefully I can avoid taking a lot of damage to the boss fight that's coming up here. Even if I do take like 100 damage, I'm probably not going to heal, because I mean, healless maze is pretty interesting, especially when I'm on the brink of death, which will probably happen, especially in one certain section. Halfway through, I was supposed to glide, but sure. Alright, whatever. Just IDC past all those mines. Supposed to do a glide, but whatever. So, give me the drill RNG. That was a really late drill, which is good. I should be able to kill him. Alright. So, I have to jump here, otherwise the porky bombs could hit me, and damage carries over in maze, unlike normal subspace. So this is one of those heal points in case I took way too much damage, because there's long stretches of characters and bosses in between these. But 24 is really solid. But either way, if I was like at 150, I would have probably not healed. It'd been more entertaining. I'm gonna go see the Monkey Man again. And Monkey Man's dead. Donkey Kong has weird patterns. He could have like done such a super high upbeat to prevent me from getting him. A lot of AI like that. Yeah. Samus had more right DI that would have killed. Just some that, you know, the dash attack up B strat doesn't work most of the time. And she didn't even have a really good fair setup anyway. So, Pikachu is one of the more annoying ones, and I have a free kill setup. Okay, didn't work. It might work. I don't normally do it on this. No, it doesn't. Normally have a free kill setup on Pikachu, where he would die just like that if I were able to get a up air to up B off the right side, because Pikachu's AI sucks, normally. Oh, I knew I was getting hit by that. I want to take this key here. It's another heal point if that is ever necessary. It normally isn't. Now I go hit some buttons. Because I gotta unlock the next section. And I was able to skip getting a key to unlock that door to hit that blue button by just simply up airing, because Sakurai doesn't know what he's doing sometimes. And it's just so easy to just quote-unquote break the game. Alright. This is the easiest character to kill in the game. Goodbye. He has a pattern where he can jump right away and become terrible. I think I actually lost the record pace run too. Oh, I forgot about that green switch. I think I've lost a record pace run to Rob actually before. Alright, interesting glide if I can pull it off. It's like very tight. Nice. With all that momentum. Alright, I can take a lot of damage if Ridley does his circle move. There you go. And then I have to be wary of... Alright, that's the perfect RNG. Alright, and now interesting glide. This is actually precise glide as well. Ooh, barely. Alright, just skipped all those platforms and just glided all the way down to that door. There's another hero point there that I could have used. I don't use that for the second quit out, so I just, if I'm feeling confident with my percentage, just always glide. Attempt to glide. Alright, good. I think Bowser could actually live that if he has like super good DI. It's very weird. Now glide. And since there's flames still active, I kind of have to hit this button. Actually saves time than getting hit. Now back on the minecarts for like 20 seconds. It's like the only actual auto-scroller in the maze. Not too sure if you could call it an auto-scroller because you could just hop out and literally not take the minecart. It's just, you know, as you see, it's just fast. If I was at 120 something %, DDD is so scary. Literally can just tap F smash and destroy me, which he has done many times. Such an odd character to be scared of at high percent. And now we have some more annoying AI. Alright. Tried to delay and read that. I thought he was gonna roll in, but still fine. I am actually doing really great on health. Normally there'd be another hero point because there's 2 heart containers, but I'm gonna go. There's only like 2 more fights before another like potential chance to heal anyway. But like I said, I'm gonna go for a completely healless maze, hopefully. This is one of the more annoying characters in this. If he can just, okay, sure. He just kept, you know, DIing in the middle of the stage because that's what they like to do. I can't think. Has this maze gone poorly in any place? It's like been kind of solid. I don't know. I really can't think. That might be the last bit of Bramble Blast you'll hear, so sorry about that. I didn't get the last hit in there. Yeah. Those floating paper stickers, I guess I never mentioned, but I'm not using stickers. I'm just playing vanilla characters, stats, and whatnot. Stickers are like one-time use kind of thing. Why did I do that? I have no clue. But stickers are one-time use per like character, per level. So they're not used. Because, you know, the advantage would be to grind the good ones and just farm and just use those in runs. But, nope. So, no stickers. we're like at a bit more than the halfway point. Oh, I forgot about this room for a second. Alright, if I do all the movement right in this room, I could just skip a button cycle here. Okay, I mistimed that. Now this is gonna be super hard to do without heals. That barely missed. Damn. Alright. Just put a bit of an entertainment in the maze. It's been pretty good so far, I'd say. Alright, hopefully I don't die to Gallium. His attacks are pretty predictable. That actually has a back hitbox on the back of his feet, so I could have actually died if I was too close. And Meta Knight goes goodbye. Okay. So now I'm actually going to enter this door because this is where the second quit out will take place. Heal. The heal is not necessary. All you have to do is just enter the door and you unlock the save point. But just in case, because the next couple of characters AI can be annoying. Nice trip. Probably like 7 trips. I don't know. It's like definitely more than normal. So squeeze through here to make a cycle. If only I did that in the ruins. Small little IDC there. Kind of mistimed that. We're fine. So Zelda could either jump or fall down and die. And she decided to jump. Should I go for this? Alright, well. Normally she would make that harder than what was shown, but... Alright, Peach is kind of the same thing. Another weirdly annoying AI. So after this is the second quit out, because you can see how much backtracking there would be. If she has bad DI, yeah. Alright, you know what? Alright, I guess she'll... Whatever. I tried to be risky. Just mistimed stuff. Alright, and bottom left, and Meta Knight again. So home stretch. Just some more characters, some boss fights, and then funny taboo, man. Now we're kind of like, with the route, it's kind of like wrapping around kind of clockwise. Oh, hello, motorcycle. Okay. He did that to himself. He literally rode the highway to hell there. Haha, laugh. Alright, so yeah, the route has been for maze has been very much the same for ages. There was just a small reroute just before the second quit out with the set of characters, but other than that, it's been always just like going clockwise, really. Alright, movement here and this part is really annoying. Really cool if I do it alright. I didn't, so I'm gonna go to this platform instead. Alright. Almost done. This maze, oddly, has been decent. Big Mennonite. Big IDC. Alright, and we're gonna do a little teleport back to the bottom left, since that's where the route continues. We're able to do that because we entered the bottom left save point door, obviously. And now we're pretty much in the final line of characters, and then Taboo. That was good DI, yeah. Alright. Vertical Mennonite movement again. Fun time. I don't know why, but I remember having struggled with this for so long. But it's really not that bad, just jumping. Except that part, I hate that. I don't know why this took me a while to figure out back in the day. It's just jump and up B. That's all you have to do. Oh, I wanted him to jump into me, because it was another one of those roll strats. Good setup anyway. Alright. This should be the last annoying character. If it goes bad, it goes bad. I definitely lost some paces from this. I shouldn't have done that. I wanted to be risky. Alright, so now the strat with Charizard here is to up B. It's not going to kill because they don't have that much damage. Have to kill Sopo. I'm just going to fall. Alright. So much for a really good maze. So now I'm actually going to spawn back in as Mennonite. There's a little checkpoint door here that I can just do that real quick. Oh, not losing a gargantuan amount of time, but you know, might as well put on some entertainment. Oh, I forgot. These checkpoint doors are weird because you gotta they spawn you on the right. Also, I normally do a huge glide here, and I'm not too sure what the strat. Alright, well, if I didn't miss that up B button. Normally I do a long glide to that button. Nice reverse. Okay, just a few more. I'm gonna be skipping a cycle here to make this door because it's being blocked off by spike ceiling, but if I do a glide with enough speed, just can get through it. I think I was supposed to do a up B, but forgot. I forgot so many things in this run. Alright, last IDC. Gaming. Alright. Alright, one more and then taboo. Alright. This run honestly feels like it just blew by quick. I don't know how. I just feel like I've literally been on for like 30 minutes. Alright. Should never. Another really easy character kill. Alright, now we have Taboo, and Taboo's very interesting. We want to kill him before he does his off-wave move. And in order to do that, we kind of need him to do his slaps. Because when he does that, I'm able to SDI, just spam my control stick left and right. in order to get more boulder hits in, and time ends when the like red bars of his health disappear. Kind of getting like whatever RNG. Aw, almost. So if you didn't know how to dodge this move, just swap dodge. Alright, and time. Charizard's gonna glide away. Look how terrible his glide is. It's so bad in this game. Alright, and that was Subspace Emissary. Outside of... I think May outside of that one death was really good, but I definitely lost quite a lot of time from some other stuff, and I'm surprised this came like 3 minutes close to record, actually. Definitely didn't feel like it, but I mean, at least I pulled it off. It's a marathon record by a little bit, at least. Alright, and everything is all safe and sound. Everyone can go back home and enjoy the Latin credits everyone loves. The only thing I do have to say is if you really enjoyed this gameplay, the Brawl gameplay, in a week from today, there's going to be a relay that has me featured in it with along with 4 other top Smash Bros, like in general Smash Bros speedrunners. And we're going to be doing a relay through all the officially released games. So, you know, 64, Melee, Brawl, Smash 4, Ultimate, not counting 3DS. And we're going to be doing the main full game categories as a relay all back-to-back in a week from today on the Speed Gaming channel. If anyone's interested in watching Brawl again, or even just wanting to look at what are the other Smash games are like, it's definitely a good watch when it happens. Yeah. You can follow me, my tag, anywhere. On my channel, I mostly been doing Mario recently again. I've kind of stepped back from Brawl after getting my 152 like a year and a half ago, but I play it every now and then. It's a fun marathon / race game. Mostly doing Mario stuff recently, pretty much. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I thank you for having me. Really appreciate showing off this game on Speedrun again.